Hey everybody, Christian West here. I'm glad that you tuned in to What Would You Do? Welcome to the series of videos where Joe and I ask each other critical questions from the executive protection industry. If you like what you see, click here, like and subscribe. And if you have questions that you want us to answer or try to find a solution to, send them to us via email, text. You can find us on social media. I'm sure you have ideas, or you can post them here and we'll play along and take your question. So, welcome to What Would You Do? Season 2.
All right, so here's something. I want to ask you this because it's something that I recently come across several times. I call it, being a recycled toy. Okay. So say, for example, and you'll understand when I get this. So say you're working in the Bay Area as an EP agent. And as they happen, details come and go. Things happen. Detail sizes change. Yada yada yada. You end up just kind of working for all these details. Yep. Get that. So now you're working with the same people on different details, or different people on the same detail. Over the years, you end up just becoming this recycled toy. Okay. So now how do you break out of that? And, how do you differentiate yourself in a pool? Say that particularly I see this in the Bay Area. Yeah. How do you make yourself that fresh new toy to the new detail that pops up?
Yeah, that's an easy question.
Yeah.
By the way, I love the classification. I haven't heard that before. The recycled toy. And what you're hitting on there is totally true. In an area like that, I think in an industry that has grown as fast as we have, it's a thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing, right? I mean, people in EP is kind of the same, but it's very personalized. Unfortunately, the personalities go over skills all the time, right? People don't get that, right? So if you are the guy or gal that for some reason don't stick in the details, I'm a big believer in that old thing that says you look yourself in the mirror every morning, and if you see the same things all the time, maybe there's something wrong, right? The whole thing of every time you point at something, there's 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. I believe that life is kind of a self-education. As you get older, you get smarter, I like to think. So if you are the guy or the girl that doesn't stick with these details, maybe it's not about learning how to drive fast, or maybe it's not about learning how to do better medical training. Maybe you should also think a little bit about, how do I function on a team?
That's it. Yeah.
What do I bring to the table? What is my brand? And a couple of years ago, people were all about, what you put on LinkedIn is your brand, and not what it's about. It's about your brand needs to be able to coexist with other brands, right? And I like to, when I speak to people, a lot of people come to me to get advice on teams and startups and whatever. And to simplify it, I like the football analogy, okay? You have a football team, you have one coach. Mm-hmm. That coach has several coaches, but there's one coach. There's one quarterback, right? There's a couple of star players. But in my mind, what makes a really good offense is the offensive line, right? Offensive lines, for some reason, are never stars. You have to be real into football to name the name of the offensive line vector, right? Yeah. But the quarterback doesn't function without the lineman, right? If he can't fall back in the pocket holes, the offense falls apart. Then you have a couple of people that are like the running backs, the receivers. They're typically the stars that people know. For every team, you know the name of the star receiver, you know the name of the star running back and the quarterback. Okay. If you look at an EP team, there's some people that have high skills, that are high performers, that are high motivators. You as a manager don't have to worry about them, because they'll tell you what they need. They'll tell you all the time what you need. But if you listen to them, they'll also tell you what's wrong with the team. A good team is normally also, to have a really good team, you need to have a lot of really good all-rounders where it's not so much about them, but it's about the team.
Yeah.
But you as a person, in my opinion, without getting too deep, need to figure out who are you? Where do I fit in on this team here? And sometimes you might have to be the quarterback. Sometimes you might be the receiver, but you also have to be able to be a lineman. So when you come to a team, you can function in one team and you might be the highest skilled operator, whatever. So you get all the respect and everybody looks up to you. Is that who you want to be? Is that what you can keep up through your career? Right. Or do you more want to try to be or live like a lineman?
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a lot easier to put a lineman to a different team than a quarterback to a different team.
Because when you think about it, the quarterbacks typically stay with them and run that team. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Right? The star players, the star running backs, and the star receivers are the ones that go and become the next quarterback at a team. Right? But he'll still need linemen. And not everybody is meant to be leaders. Right? Because one thing is being a team leader or a detail leader. But to be an action manager of a team is a very different function. You see what I'm saying? That's how I've always tried to explain to people how you can avoid. And it's really funny because also you understand this better than anybody since you've been a trainer for so long. We train our skills. We train what we need to know as agents and whatever. But have you ever heard of anybody who teaches or trains team building? When you were in the Marines, right? Wasn't it important that the teams were built and they got along with each other and you had a great team building?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of an EP team building program?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something there.
Yeah. Super interesting.
Right?